Long form, and specifically YouTube videos, are the biggest lever you can pull for any service company, whether that's an agency, a consulting company, a software company, or anything in that direction. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about exactly what specific long form asset anyone needs to have on their channel for there to be the highest show rates, the highest conversion rates, as well as the highest cash collect upfront whatsoever. This one asset that I'm talking about is called a YouTube VSL. And what makes or breaks the efficacy of this YouTube VSL is the actual structure that anyone is leveraging behind how this works. And so I'm now gonna break down to you the actual structure of how to put this together. This is going to be a very boring video, and it's not necessarily going to be entertaining in any way, shape, or form, but that's the whole point. I want anyone who wants to make money through their brand, through selling high-ticket services, to watch this video. We all know that the best way to scale past a couple $100,000 a month nowadays is creating the right intentional long-form assets, specifically for YouTube. So in this video, I'm going to be going over how you can engineer a YouTube VSL for yourself in a way where that specific one video can collect you more than 100K cash collect standalone. We know exactly how to do this because we worked with more than 350 clients one-on-one in the last 4 years, implementing strategies for marketing as well as sales. We are fully specialized and focused. I am fully specialized and focused on anything to do with acquisition. And in my opinion, since I've generated more than $10 million in client revenue, I know for a fact that the one asset anybody has to leverage is long-form assets. Specifically, what's working incredibly well right now in the industry is two things. Now, this video is going to be very boring, to be honest with you. It's going to be a super boring video. But what I'm about to break down in this video is going to make a massive change in terms of your revenue, the sales you generate, the cash collect that you're bringing into your company right now. And you can genuinely scale your company past a couple million a year in profit just leveraging these concepts for long form. Now, obviously, we're not stupid. We know that there's more this ties into, but this is by far the highest lever you can pull. And so I'm gonna break down what it is that you need to implement for those long form assets. And then after that's done, I'm gonna be breaking down to you exactly what structure needs to be leveraged for these assets to do well in the first place. And so fundamentally speaking, what we have to understand is that, and by the way, I'm gonna, dive into some basics here. So just bear with me because this is super important to understand for you to even have any idea of why this is important. So just listen up, this is gonna be a bit boring. I'm going to dive into the fancy stuff, the actual structure, and all of that good stuff in just a second, so bear with me. So what we fundamentally speaking need to understand is that the only reason anybody makes more money than their competitor is one simple thing, which is a competitive advantage. And that competitive advantage can be shown and can be crystallized through many, many different things. But what you have to understand is that to gain a competitive advantage, there's really only two things that you can and should do. The first one is do what others won't. That's number one. And number two is do what others aren't willing to do. And so we have do what others aren't able to do, and then we have do what others aren't willing to do. If you do one of those or both of those, you're going to equip yourself with competitive advantages. Now that we understand this, what we have to understand And by the way, I cannot emphasize on this one thing enough. What we have to understand is that posting whiteboard YouTube videos will not sign you clients unless you do them incredibly fucking well. And the thing there is that, realistically speaking, when you're starting out with this, or even if you have some experience, you're not gonna be the best flowchart builder, and you're not gonna be the person that has the most amount of knowledge in these things either. And so because of that, we need to understand that you listening right now are very likely already making money. Very likely you already have some clients, you have some cash flow, you're making some money, things are progressing, you have some client results as well. And so because you're in this position where you already have results and you already have clients, you need to leverage that. And by the way, I'm not gonna give you some random advice now and tell you to post case study interviews. Like, that's pretty straightforward. I think anyone understands what that means. What you need to rely on is you need to rely on something that others can't do and or aren't willing to do. What is that? In person. In this digital age that we're living in the current phase of our industry that we are experiencing at this moment in time, no one is really leveraging in person as much as they should be. Whether that is events, whether that is sitting down with a client in person, breaking down things in person, whether that ties into doing literally anything with people in person. This is a massive competitive advantage, and it's a big trend in the marketplace right now. But the thing is, very few people can do that. Let's think about this for a second. What you have to be able to do well, for you to be able to do well with in person, is, first of all, you have to have the people to even do that with. You have to have your ICP be willing and able to travel to some place that you can meet them at, and then they need to be willing to sit down with you and be consulted by you for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in person, and they need to be happy for that to be published on the internet. That's challenge number one. You already beat 9 out of 10 people by even having that in the first place. Point number two is that online, it's pretty easy to fake things. You know, it's not that hard. Everybody knows what LARPing is, right? It's pretty easy to fake things online. Well, in person, you can't really do that. And the simple reason for that is literally just that when you meet people in person, first of all, they sense your energy. There is no way you can fake who you are in person, because humans are so good at understanding and interpreting micro impressions from other people. And so in person, you can't really fake who you are. People just notice because it's not engineered, it's in the moment. You can't cut anything there. You can't redo an interaction. It's just, it happened, and that's the impression that they now have. So point number one, as I said, is that most people don't even have access to someone to do it with. Point number two is going to be that most people don't even have the competency that it actually takes for them to be able to do well in person. And then point number three is that they do not have the skills to sit down with someone for 2-3 hours and break down their entire company, and then also show them what they need to do differently, how they need to go about it in a better way, and all of that good stuff. That's point number three. Point number four is that most people don't have the setup for it. Guess what? If you want to record videos like those, you ideally want to do that in a nice environment. Maybe you want to host a keynote in a keynote room. That costs money. Maybe you want to do that in some nice luxury environment. Again, that costs money. Most people don't even have that, let alone a good camera, a good, microphone, and all of that good stuff. I'm sitting right now in this hotel room in the southern part of Bavaria, which is a beautiful hotel. I'm here on a weekend getaway with my girlfriend right now, and I can't fake being here. Like, I actually have to pay for the hotel room to be able to sit here talking to you right now. So all of these things are things that, people can't fake. And simply said, because you're willing and able to go into this, you already set yourself apart. Now, we now spoke about the fundamentals of this. We now spoke about why this works so well and what makes this so effective. Now we actually have to dive into how we can implement this and what the actual structure of those videos needs to be, or what video formats to do in general. We have two main formats that I genuinely urge you to implement. If you're looking to grow past a couple 100K a month in profit, these are the only two formats you need right now. This is what we're implementing actively with every single client that we're working with one-on-one. And so this is working extremely well. We have point number one, which is a VSL. I will talk about how that works in specifics in just a second. And then we have point number two, which is going to be an in-person sit-down. In-person sit-down being the format that we just dove into. I'll be going through both of those right now and explaining what the structure of those needs to be. All right, real quick, this video is intended to give you an overview of exactly why these content assets are so important and give you an overview as to how to actually engineer them. We actually have a template in-house that we are distributing to all of our clients that we work with one-on-one. And so because I want to be fair to everybody that we work with, we don't really distribute all of the in-depth SOPs and value that we provide with everybody we do work with. At the same time, I want you to make as much money as humanly possible from this, because in that way, you'll be able to get to the first 10, 20, 30K per month. And then from there, obviously work together with us to scale. And so because of that reason, I dumbed down our SOP for both the YouTube VSL as well as the in-person breakdowns. And I'm gonna be sending both of them to you in bulk in a dumbed down version, so you can have that first asset installed, push it out, make money, and then get back to us and work with us. It is completely free. All you have to do is literally just opt in and it will be in your inbox immediately. So claim that right now. It's gonna make you a lot of money. Back to the video. The structure of them is very similar at its core, so you can actually implement it for both. In both instances, again, this is why I was speaking about the foundations earlier. In both instances, we need to make sure that we do something that others won't and or others can't do. And so if we dive into this real quick, the structure on a very fundamental high level is very similar. For both of them, the structure will be point number one, proof and story. You run through your story, your client's story, or any other stories that make them bought into you as a person. You sell them on yourself. That's the first thing you do. After that is done, you run through proof, right? Either your own proof, other people's proof, right? Case studies, whatever that may be. You at the start of both of these videos need to go over proof as well as story. You need to introduce yourself and the results, because there's three things that anybody needs to trust for them to be able to purchase from you. Number one, they need to trust you. Number two, they need to trust your mechanism. And then point number three, they need to trust themselves. If they trust all three, they pay. And so because of that, at first we run through proof and story. Makes sense. Point number two, we now need to run through the main part of the video. Now, what is that main part of the video actually structured as? What do we run through? Well, I'm gonna go on a tangent here real quick, and I genuinely need you to understand this and listen up very closely, because this is truly so important. Whenever we want to have someone buy our thing, we do that, or we have to do that, through providing value to them first things first. Makes sense. Nothing too crazy. Now, no one is going to pay us unless we provided value to them before, right? Pretty clear. But how do we provide value? Because technically speaking, value isn't information. Information is, quite frankly, pretty useless. Information is everywhere. You can watch a million YouTube videos and you'll have more information than any human being ever had access to throughout the last couple 100 years or thousands of years. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the point. Information is not valuable. So what is value? Well, Value is one thing, and that one thing is behavior changes. If you can change someone's behavior, you provided value. But the thing is that behavior changes don't occur because of information being provided. Behavior changes occur because you shift beliefs. If we look at this for a second, just as a quick example, as a quick reference, if you may. Our reality is being built, right? The reality that we're living in is being built by the actions that we took in the past. The actions that we're taking are directly controlled by our thoughts. And our thoughts are directly controlled by, guess what? Our beliefs. And so if we want to change any action, any behavior on a fundamental level, therefore changing that person's reality, if we want to do that, we have to change their beliefs first things first. And so because we understand that we need to change beliefs in order for there to be behavior change, which then creates a new reality, which is what value is, right? Getting them closer to the reality that they actually want to experience. Because this is the case, what we now need to do is we need to engineer the main parts of both of these videos so that there are belief shifts occurring in real time. And so how can we do that? How can we shift someone's belief like this whilst watching a video? Because we're all aware that we trust ourselves and our own beliefs and our own thoughts and actions. We trust our own ideas, frankly, way more than anybody else's ideas out there. Why would someone change the way they see something, a certain, thing in their business, a part of their company, or a certain decision they need to make? Why would someone change that because of what you said? Genuinely think about this. It ties into two things. It ties into, number one, storytelling. And then number two, as a result of this storytelling, it ties into aha moments. Bear with me. I know these things sound super boring. And they are, quite frankly, pretty boring. I'm pretty excited about them, as you can see. But on a fundamental level, this stuff is pretty uninteresting. But this is just what makes the money, man. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here recording this video and talking about these things instead of just saying, okay, you need this type of video, here's an example, and this is step number 1 through step number 3 of how you need to structure it. I wouldn't be sitting here talking and explaining all of these things if that was, how easy it is. Like, you actually need to understand the psychology behind how this works, so it works for you as well. And that's what I want. I want you to make as much money as possible from this video, because once you make 10, 20, 30K a month and you're like, fuck man, like I really, really want help scaling and growing now, I'm gonna hit up Elias. That's my goal with these videos. And so because of that, I genuinely want you to make more money. And I know how to do it because I've done it for myself. And I've done it for tens and hundreds of other people. And so because of that, I know what works and what doesn't. I would not be explaining these things to you unless this is what matters most. So please listen closely. Storytelling and aha moments. The only way to shift someone's belief on a sales call, because if they believe what you believe, they buy, right? Again, if they believe what you believe, they buy. Keep that in mind. If they believe what you believe, then they buy. Well, the way to shift someone's belief for that to even happen is through 3 things. There's only 3 things you are allowed to do on any sales call. Tell stories, ask questions, and restate what they said back to them. Makes sense. Okay, got you. Well, in videos, we can't ask questions or, restate what they said. We're not talking to someone. And so, because of this, the only thing we can really do is tell stories, right? And I've had many people I've worked with who, when I broke down this concept to them, were able to engineer videos that predictably closed clients, got inbound leads, and got them sales, right? And again, the beautiful thing is, what I'm explaining to you here right now doesn't only tie into how to make videos converting and make money from them. It also ties into how you do sales and how you run your business day to day. Even how you manage your team, to be quite frank with you. And so because of all of this, right, if we tell stories, we are able to shift beliefs. That belief shift is what's called an aha moment. And so because we now understand that the way to provide true value is by telling stories that then provoke aha moments, because we now understand this, we now understand, well, in the main part of this video, all we need is 3 to 5 intentional belief shifts, 3 to 5 intentional stories, 3 to 5 intentional aha moments that then lead to them wanting to talk to you and buy from you. Simple as that. Now, obviously for all of this, right, because right now I'm just running through the high level structure. For all of this, you obviously need the actual in-depth breakdown on how that works. But how it works truly isn't as important as understanding high level what to do. Because if you understand high level what to do, you'll be able to engineer how to go about this. Now, makes sense. Okay, got you. Well, now that we understand at the start, we open up with proof and story. In the main part, we are looking for 3 to 5 intentional stories that we crafted to specifically reshape people's beliefs. We now already have the main part of the video, the biggest part of the video established. Now, I know that for a lot of you, you will now be expecting me to run through, okay, at the end we have the call to action, right? How do we structure the ending so we have a strong call to action? I'm actually strongly against having a call to action at the end of any video. And the reason for it is very simple. Every single person always puts their CTA at the end of their video. But the thing is that because of that, every single person that watches your assets has the highest sales resistance towards the end of the video. And so because of that, you shouldn't put the CTA at the end of the video very clearly. You should put the CTA somewhere where the sales resistance is as low as humanly possible. And so what we do is we're not pricks and read off of a script when we actually present our VSL or we do our in-person breakdown. What we do is we simply just sprinkle in the call to action somewhere in the middle of the video. That could be 30% in, that could be 60% in, that could really be at any point in the video where it makes sense besides the end, or the first 10 seconds, technically speaking. And so what we do is when we're talking about things, we just sprinkle in a bit of, oh, and by the way, I know I'm running through a lot of different things right now. I know that all of this is gonna make you a lot more money. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily need you to implement all of this yourself. If you're a super busy business owner, you don't have a lot of time on hand, you have money but not time, well, let's have a chat. DM me on my IG and we can see whether we can figure out a solution together. If not, that's fine. I'll still be able to point you into the right direction. Anyways, back to the video. As simple as that. You do not need to overcomplicate this. So one CTA somewhere in the video. Another thing that I need you to understand here on how to actually make this whole content asset, this long form asset, as highly converting as humanly possible, so you're able to collect at least 100K per video from this, is you need to understand that your whole job creating these videos is to keep people on the hook. Meaning, at the start of the video, in the intro phase, the first minute, 2 minutes, you need to pre-frame that the most important part of the video is towards the end of the video. And by the way, it's the exact same for what I'm talking about here right now. Because the whole thing of understanding how this works is important as a setup to know before. But you knowing this setup and not the actual structure isn't gonna be of any value to you. And so you need to watch this whole video for you to get all of the value, because I'm about to talk about some things on how to actually make people click on the video and how to actually appeal to the right ICP that is going to make a massive difference in the results you're getting from this. And so I need you to keep listening to this, okay? So at the start of the video, we wanna pre-frame so that people actually wanna see the whole video. If you lay out 5 points at the start of the video that people are gonna get from you throughout the course of this video, then you need to tell people that the end of the video is the most important by far, and you should make it that. And so you need to keep people horny. About 60, 70 to 90% of the video, you need to keep them on the hook. Simple as that. Okay, so as you can see right now, one of the most important elements of making the long form assets you're shooting successful is going to be the actual wrapping paper that you put around it, meaning title, thumbnail, topic, as well as the intro or the hook of the actual video. And so because I am planning to put out more and more and more free resources from what we give our clients for them to be able to achieve the numbers that they're pulling off, because we're giving out more and more and more of those resources, I wanted to provide that specific resource to you guys right now for completely free. All you have to do is up and down below, just put in your details, and we will be sending you our whole guide on how to structure that wrapping paper so that you actually get engagement from the high quality clients that you do want to attract as well as convert. So just go down below right now. You can sign up for that. It's completely free, and we'll send it to you right away. Now, what we need to understand is that now you know high level how to create a long form content asset that actually makes money. What you still don't understand is how to even get people to click on the video in the first place, as well as how to make sure that the video gets the engagement it needs within your industry. And so the first thing you need to understand here is that, fundamentally speaking, there are 4 different things that make your video do well in the first place. Now again, do not click off the video. This is boring shit, but I know for a fact this is going to make you so much money if it's implemented correctly. 4 main points, okay? Number 1, we have the topic of the video. The video isn't gonna do well if the topic is bad. If the topic of this video is bad, which is not, because this is extremely valuable and exactly what you need to hear. But technically speaking, if I was speaking about a topic in this video that's more or less irrelevant to you, it really doesn't matter what background I'm using, what camera I'm recording on, where I'm sitting, or literally anything else. It doesn't matter. How I talk also doesn't matter. If the topic is shit, everything else is completely irrelevant. And so the topic needs to be good. I'm gonna talk about how to find good topics in a second, by the way. That's number 1. Actually, you know what? Let me dive into that right now. So with topics, what you need is data. What you need to do here is you need to compile the last 20 to 50 call recordings. Ideally, if you have more, take more. The call recording transcripts that you have, for example, in your Fathom note taker, you wanna take the last 20 to 50 plus, pull all of those into AI and ask AI, based on these client calls and these sales calls, and based on the feedback that my team is giving me, what are the topics that are bringing the most aha moments, the most moments where it just makes something click for my prospects? And then you just note those down. Ideally, you have 2 to 3 that you tap into, and you just use those for every single video. Now, super important. These need to be regurgitated and talked about hundreds of times. You need to talk about these so much that literally anyone has heard about it. And the problem is that because you always hear yourself talking about these things, you're realistically speaking going to think you talked about it too much, when in reality, no one even heard the message yet. If you post about one topic 200 consecutive times, well, for you, you are recording the exact same topic 200 times. For the average consumer, maybe they've seen it once or twice. Because keep in mind, if you're scrolling Reels as an example, you don't even remember what reel you watched 5 reels ago, maybe even like 2 or 3 reels ago. You don't even know what you watched. And so clearly you need to repeat this so often, everybody has heard it a couple of times, and it actually takes up mental real estate. Super important. So the topics that we talk about, we want to use topics that based on your internal data resonate the most with your exact ICP. And that's usually going to be 2 to 3 topics. And then you just tap into those on every video. And you do that until it's so boring to you that you literally want to fucking jump out of the window if you have to talk about that topic for one more time. And so that is topics. Okay, we understand that. Well, topics are super important. Got it. Point number 2 is going to be title and thumbnail. Now, I know that this is super basic and straightforward to say, but people truly don't understand how important this really is. I have an acquaintance who I've called with about this about 12 months ago at this point in time. And that acquaintance of mine has about 100K subscribers, or had about 100K subscribers at that specific moment in time. And he posted a video that in the first 2 weeks got about 10,000 views. 10,000 views on a video of a channel that has more than 100K subs is very bad. They then changed title and thumbnail 12 consecutive times, and after doing that, the video jumped from 10K views to more than 500,000 views in 2 weeks. This made a difference between about 20K in sales at 10K views to more than $1 million in cash collected from that one video within those 2 weeks. This really brings the point home of how important title and thumbnail, hence the packaging of all of this, is actually worth. Now, outside of that, the next point is going to be the hook, the actual intro of your YouTube video, or you could also call this the first 30 to 60 seconds. Now, with everything I'm walking through, by the way, obviously internally, we have an insane amount of resources, SOPs, sheets, documents, company hubs, etc., that every single client we work with has access to. And so, because I respect my clients a lot and they pay a lot of money to work with us, I'm not gonna share these things with you today. This video is incredibly valuable just in the information I'm giving you so far. And I could break this down in much more detail. We could go for another 2 hours just about this one topic. But again, that is what people come on board for, because this is the difference between making 10K a month and getting to 300K a month in profit with your company. And so this is extremely valuable. Just what I walked through so far is actually insane if implemented correctly. And obviously we have templates for the VSL, for the in-person breakdowns. We have all of the SOPs on that. We have SOPs on how to get the right titles and thumbnails in place, how to test those predictably, how to get the right team members in place, how to structure hook and intro, the topics, everything. We got all of that in place, but I'm not gonna break all of that down right now. Frankly said, first of all, I don't have that much time today, so I just wanna make this an effective video. But at the same time, this is already more than enough in terms of what you need to know about how to engineer this. Now, as you've seen so far throughout this video, I will be putting in 2 or 3 quick clips where I'm gonna be providing some of these resources in a tightened down version from the ones that we do provide to our clients internally. And so I would recommend you, if you haven't opted in for those yet, opt in for those right now. You just have to put your details there. It is completely free and it breaks these things down in detail. I'm going to be pushing out an insane amount of videos in the coming weeks, months, and years about topics like this one, about how to actually grow with long-form assets, with specific acquisition frameworks that we have developed over the last few years, because frankly, we are very successful in what we do. If you liked the value in this video, subscribe. If you have any questions as well, put them down below in the comment section. And outside of that, one thought that I want to leave you with real quick is this. Most people in this industry come into this industry, make some money for 6 months, maybe 12 months, and then they dip again. There are very, very, very few people that are actually still participating in this industry after a couple of years of being in it. I started this company in September 2022. I started this company at 19 years old. And just the simple fact that we are still here and doing extremely well and doing better and better on a daily and weekly and monthly basis shows that what we do actually works. We're not helping our clients, we're not helping you watching this video just make some money and then go back to a 9 to 5 or do whatever, go backpacking. We're building actual companies and we're building the actual systems for the acquisition, the marketing and sales that make these engines run profitably. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. I wanted to make this as value-packed as possible. Again, if you haven't gotten the lead magnets yet, they are completely free. Get them right now. They're going to help you an insane amount. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Appreciate your time. I appreciate you for listening, and I'll catch you there.